Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at Jose Luis Mendilibar and his 4-2-3-1 at Greek giants Olympiacos. Currently, after 9 games in the Greek Super League, Olympiacos find themselves in 4th position. The past 6 games for Olympiacos have really been a mixed bag, losing to Lyon away 2-0. A 2-0 win at home against Atromitos, putting Braga to the sword by 3-0. Then following up that victory with 2 draws, the first one away at Panathinaikos 0-0, and then a 2-2 draw at home against Olympiacos. But in each of those games, the go-to formation for Mendilibar is this 4-2-3-1. And taking stock that more often than not, they are losing the battle for possession. That is not what this tactic is about. So looking at this 4-2-3-1 setup here at Olympiacos, first of all, we are going to talk about the build-up play. So when the possession of the ball is with the goalkeeper here, you're normally thinking now, we'll look to build it out slowly from the back, looking to get it out to wing backs or centre backs, then building through the team. Not the case at all with Olympiacos. At every opportunity, they will launch that ball forward. That going in tandem with whoever is in the number 9, the number 10, and both the wide players all pressing high up that field, looking to force turnovers, looking to force errors out of the opposition, putting the ball back, creating opportunities. With that being said, they launch the ball forward. Yes, they do play very direct, and I think it's for a good reason. Mendilibar really focused his team on being fantastic out of possession, relentless pressing, intensity, forcing the opposition into those mistakes. So as that ball does go forward, you will see these 4 players really pushing high up the field. In the midfield area, whoever it is in the 6 or the 8 role, these are pretty much no fancy roles, not looking to be too adventurous. They will sit in the middle of that park, looking to break up play. And no matter who the opposition is on, the day, they will man mark and stick their opponents like glue in the middle of that midfield. With the defenders, when possession has been won, they will look to step up the park a little bit more, looking to encroach up on that halfway line, pinning the opposition in, but really not getting too far forward at all as a line. And the same goes for the wing backs. Yes, they're stepping up in this line, and they will look to push up the field, potentially just past that halfway line, looking to link up play with the 10 who can drop in. There's a ball on there, or the number 8 or 6 who may look to progress to this sort of halfway line area. But plenty of space in here to knock the ball around if need be, but overall nothing too adventurous from really these 6 here, looking to sit in and do their defensive responsibilities and letting these 4 up the other end of the field cause the problems for the opposition. So I think with this setup, the research I have done, we're going to be setting up in a 4-2-3-1. We're going to be playing direct football. We're going to be flying into tackles, being aggressive in what we do. We're going to be defensively very, very structured. Be well disciplined with and without the ball. And with the individual player roles, we're going to have a little look at them and try and get them down to a T so everybody knows their role on the field and does exactly what Mendilibar would expect of them. So welcome in, guys, to my interpretation of Mendilibar's tactic at Olympiacos. As you can see, we are set up in the 4-2-3-1 with a cautious mentality. Now, we're going to be starting off with the goalkeeper, just goalkeeper, defend with take fewer risks added to his instructions. On both the left and right side, they are both fullbacks and both on automatic. We don't want them being too adventurous. That is not what their game's about. We don't mind them pressing up towards the halfway line, potentially even supporting the attacks when and if an opportunity arises. But both of them have take fewer risks, cross from deep and stay wider. We want to look to really bombard the opposition box with crosses, just like they do in real life. Yes, we might only score 1 or 2 out of 20, 25 plus crosses. But if we can find Al-Kabi in the box, he knows where the goal is. So we don't want to see our fullbacks being too adventurous. Now, in the middle of defence, we have 2 central defenders on defend. And the tactical instructions added to them are more direct passing, take fewer risks, and tackle harder. And the same goes for David Carmo as well. Like we said, we want to get that ball from back to front as quick as possible. And we're going to get that with all these back four and the goalkeeper taking fewer risks and clearing the ball out of any sort of danger. Now into the centre of the midfield, doing a little bit more research into this into the midfield partnership. And the one of these does tend to have a little bit more of a license to go forward if the opportunity arises. And in this instance, it is Hezi or Hetzi, however you want to say his name. Ball-winning midfielder support, more direct passes, take fewer risks, dribble less, and mark tighter. But he is going to look to get a little bit more further forward than whoever he's partnered up with in the middle of the park. And on this occasion, it is Danny Garcia, defensive midfielder. And the same instructions are on there as well. And also whole position. We want him sitting in the middle of the park next to Heze and breaking up the play as much as possible. And really just putting a wall up in front of the opposition. Now, hopefully where the magic happens in the attacking end of the field, starting off with the wingers. They're both set to inverted winger attack, but Valde on that left-hand side, take more risks, cross more often, and close down more. And that's pretty much the same on there for Masserat on that right-hand side. We may even look to get him playing in this cam role, but we'll see how we go through the course of this simulation. But like we said, once we get the ball up the field, out to our wingers, and we are going to look to hammer them crosses in as often as possible, hit them nice and early, not giving the defenders any chance to get set, which in turn will hopefully give Al Kabi a little bit of space to be able to find the back of the net for us. Now, in the attacking midfielder role is Chiquinho. I can't even pronounce that name. Chiquinho, either or. Whoever is in that position is going to be on an attacking midfielder support role, take more risks, dribble less, close down more. And what is imperative about this role, whoever's in that role on the day, it's whole position. So we don't want people having free roam license to get all around the pitch, whether it be out wide to the left or right or dropping a bit deeper. If he sits in there, he's constantly drawing defenders towards him, giving our wingers a bit more space, giving our cabbie a bit of space, potentially even giving Hetzi a little bit more space as he comes forward. But if he's constantly in that position there, we've always got to pass on, whether the ball's going back, forward, left, right. He just sits in that part of the field, dictates the tempo, hopefully finds a few good passes or get to that wide to our wingers where, once again, they can dump it into the box. So for me, this role, very, very important to what Olympiacos do. Now, my favourite player at Olympiacos, who did absolutely kill my Aston Villa team in the Conference League last season, El Kabi. What a clinical striker this guy is. And hopefully he can turn it on in this tactical rebuild and simulation for the season. But on El Kabi, it is a pressing forward attack, take more risks, and of course, a player of his quality, we want him shooting more often. Also being very, very good with his head, hand in hand with all those crosses getting dinked into the opposition penalty box. As we touched on just, the mentality is cautious here at Olympiacos, which suits us really, really well. And with that cautious mentality, I think it suits Mendilibar'S setup very, very well. He's not looking to dominate possession of the ball. He's looking to strike with these long, deep balls up the field, causing panic, causing havoc for the defenders. And if the ball's not on our end of the field, in our penalty box, they ain't scoring. But as it states there, it relies on getting the ball forward quickly enough to expose the spaces behind aggressive fullbacks and wingers, really looking to make the most of the long ball situations. In possession, we are going to be fairly wide. We're going to look to pass the ball into space. And of course, passing directness is going to be more direct and a slightly higher tempo. As soon as we get the ball, let's release it as quick as we can. And on the creative freedom, we are going to be more disciplined. So from back to front, everyone knows their jobs. Everyone knows their responsibilities. And we can try and get this tactic as close as we can to what Mendilibar is doing in real life. In transition, when possession has been lost, we are going to look to regroup as a team, get back and do your defensive duties. When possession has been won, we are going to counter at speed, bang that ball forward to all our attacking outlets, and the fullbacks are going to press on a little bit if and when it's safe to do so. When the goalkeeper is in possession, we're going to distribute that ball quickly, bang it straight over the top of the opposition defence, and of course, we're only going to look to be taking long goal kicks. Out of possession, Jose Luis Mendilibar does tend to opt for a mid block from his attackers and a defensive line just outside the 18-yard box, but looking to push up a little bit higher when possession has been won, as this tactic is pretty much made for long ball football. Where Mendilibar has his success is in that relentless, intense press. So we want to trigger that much more often and look to force the errors from the opposition. And the last couple of things, we are going to try and stop crosses at every opportunity. But what's another massively important thing in this setup is the trap. We're going to try and trap them inside. With these four players here all pretty much pressing a little bit higher up the field, there is going to be a bit of a gap in the middle of the park if and when they go to put the press on. But what do we have here? We have cover in the centre of that midfield. We have our defensive midfielders sitting in, locking down that position there so we can force them inside. We've got two centre midfielders followed by two big strapping centre halves where we can look to win back possession. So, of course, we will simulate this over one season, and the board would like the challenge for the Super League One title. With this setup, is it going to happen on FM? I don't know. We couldn't have been sacked before the season's out, but we'll see how we get on. And they would like us to reach the group stage in the Europa League and reach a semi-final of the Greek Cup. Hopefully, we can achieve all expectations with this setup. For me, I'm more of a gegenpress kind of guy. I want to do that intense pressing, pretty much gung-ho football, the old Jurgen Klopp way. But this, of course, is not the Jurgen Klopp tactic. This is Jose Luis Mendilibar at Olympiacos. After 26 games, we did come second in the league. AEK Athens, a little bit too good for us on this occasion. Looking at the season preview, AEK Athens was the favourite to go on and win the league, and that they did. In this setup, we knew we were going to be aggressive, and we have done that there. 55 yellow cards, really leaving a mark on the opposition. And with long ball being the name of the game here for Mendilibar, only completing 11,650 passes across the season, which is bottom position, but ultimately leading us to a second place finish at the Greek Cup as well. Another couple of things we really did emphasise with this tactic going forward was getting crosses into the box there, and we've done that with 147 completed, but only a completion rate of 30%. But we knew firsthand just dumping the ball into the box isn't going to always guarantee goals. On the defensive side of things, we wanted to be absolutely solid at the back, very structured, very disciplined, and only conceding 26 goals in 36 matches. I'd say we've pretty much done it. 771 tackles won, 777 interceptions, and winning back possession more than anybody else in the entire team. So having that deeper defensive line sitting in, forcing the play inside, we've been choking out the opposition. Just as we expected, Al-Kabi and Yaremchuk chipping in with 28 goals between them. But our attacking midfielders, centre, left and right, definitely coming into the fold and getting a few goals along the way. On the assist sort of things, it's nice to see Ortega getting involved like he does in real life and looking to pump balls into the box, and he's backed himself 7 assists. And between our attacking three players in Valde, Masaras and Chiquinho, 23 assists between them. In the Europa League, Hoffenheim and Lyon a little bit too good for us this season, but finishing in third did put us through to the Conference League once again. We did get through to the quarter-final, but we lost 5-4 on aggregate to Real Betis. Taking on our rivals in the league in the Greek Cup final, Chiquinho gets some space, drives the ball down the left-hand side, driving forward. He is going to look to get a ball into the box. He slides it back into Valde. Valde pulls it back to Garcia, and he smashed it home to give Olympiacos the lead in the final. Not long after half-time, though, Garcia finds some space in the box, puts it past the goalkeeper, 1-1. The penalty shootout did come down to the last two takers, and Yaremchuk steps up and he pops it home to give us the advantage. The last penalty, they needed to score, and Garcia stepped up from the spot. He pulls the trigger, and it was saved comfortably by the goalkeeper, giving us what was an absolutely fantastic cup to end the season with. So overall, with Mendilibar'S tactic here at Olympiacos, we've implemented it very well. We've been solid at the back, absolutely potent going forward, putting pressure on the opposition, winning that ball back up high, getting us that second place finish in the Greek Super League, getting us deep into European competition, and then bringing home the Greek Cup and managing to put AEK to the sword. Overall, absolutely thrilled with this Mendilibar tactic recreation. If there is any Olympiacos fans out there, you know your team better than me. Let me know if I've been able to recreate this tactic or get it very, very close to what you're playing in real life. Like we said, it was structured and disciplined at the back. We was a brick wall in the face of most oppositions. But at the other end of that field, when we lumped that ball forward, we was potent in front of goal. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Of course, subscribe to the channel. And of course, any comments is appreciated. It does help the algorithm of the video. Just drop it down below. Until next time, guys, peace out.